Hi guys, my name is Jade. This is the Moment of Impact 6/22. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am 100% blind due to a firearms accident 2.5 years ago. So I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, and there's the 22 caliber. Fold it in half. Probably want to get that piece out though. Get that piece with the slit in it, and then fold it in half and gotta get it through that slit. Okay. And then screw it onto the rod. And I've already cleaned this gun last night, but you can never get a gun too clean. And you typically, but since it's already been cleaned, I didn't go that deep into it, or I didn't go that extensively. It should be fairly clean though, but you typically want to go until it's a clean patch coming out. And it wouldn't hurt to get a little bit of a bigger piece, but it'll work. There we go. Alright, and then the cam lock has those little groove things in there. Kind of looks like gear with that single bristle, harder side. You want to just get in all of those. Okay, and we have gotten in all those notches. And then that's where it grabs the bullet. You want to scrub in there. You want to scrub in all the nooks and crannies, because firing might be hard to believe, but that gunpowder gets in all these little nooks and crannies, believe it or not. Okay, so the cam lock is now clean. At least as clean as I can get it for now. I just give it a little extra scrub. But okay, so there's that. Cam lock is clean. Then we want to come over and get this pin. I don't know the names of the pins. I just know that they're pins and what they do. So, and then scrub it down. So that pin is good. Then come to the firing pin. Basically the most crucial part of the gun. That's another thing I was thinking about. If like you're going out of town and you're worried about someone breaking in and taking your guns or something like that, or like you're worried about an intruder, say you keep a gun next to the door, well no, that wouldn't do any purpose. But either way, you could just like take the firing pin out of it and then that gun would be, or say around your children to practice gun safety, you could keep the firing pin out of it so that it's safe. No way a bullet could fire in that gun. So that's one thing I was thinking. Or just take the carabiner handle out and then nothing can be done with it unless you leave a bolt lock out. Okay. Alright, now that pin's good. Firing pin is good. And now this little pin that holds the firing pin in. Just scrub it down a little bit. Alright, and then we come to the bolt. That's the bolt. Now you just want to scrub down in all the nooks and crannies. And those two little holes right there, you want to put oil in there, but I like to wait until I got it all back together and put it back in the gun before I grease up in there. Like your AR is burning and you haven't, or like if your AR starts stinking like something's burning in there, you might just try squirting a little bit of grease in those two holes, or a little bit of oil in those two holes, and then if that doesn't fix it, then you might want to take it apart and give it a deep clean. Okay, you just want to scrub in all of these little nooks and crannies, because gunpowder residue, it can get in all of those. Just everywhere. Especially with this tougher bristle brush. The tougher bristle end of the brush. Alright, now that I got this cleaned and oiled, now we put it back together, put the cam lock back in, and you can't put it back together wrong, but you want to get that hole lined up right in there.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Okay, so want to get that hole in the cam lock lined up so that we can get that pin in there. Just almost. Just sometimes it does not want to get lined up. Okay. Alright, that pin is in. Okay. Then you want to pull that cam lock out. The cam lock has to be out for it to be able to go back in the gun, because otherwise that pin sticks out to the side, but when you pull it out, it twists, and it lines up with that. But so then, you want to get the firing pin, bring it in here, and then there's a little hole, you can't see it with the camera, but and then it slides right on in there, and it goes right through there. But so anyway, that is in now, in that tiny little pin. Close it. Oh, okay. Alright, so here's that little pin, and then that little hole right there, you want to clip it in, and then it's in. Now your cam lock is back together, or your bolt is back together with the cam lock in it. Alright, so before we put that back in, we want to get our toothbrush again, get our upper, and then where that bolt and charging handle go, you want to scrub everything in there. And it's already oiled and greased up in there pretty good, because I cleaned it fairly well last night. But I'm just going to show you how to do it. You just want to get everything you possibly can. Brush. Get all of that gunk and gunpowder residue buildup out, and you want to get in there and just clean it out, get all that bad stuff that we don't want in there out, because this will jam our gun, and we do not want that to happen. So scrub it out in there, and our puppies are whining quite loud, but so alright, get where that pivot. So we looked it up. They're both called takedown pins or pivot pins. So whatever you want to call them. Pivot. Alright, so now we're ready to put our gun back together. We got our upper and our charging handle. There is a track on the top of where the bolt goes in here. If I can get it in there. See? It locks in to that track. But if you pull it down, like straight down, it'll come right out. Anyway, that has to be in the track, and I like to clip it in. And then come over here, get our lower. And I like to do this because it just is a little simpler. Not as hard to get everything lined up and stuff. So we put our upper back onto our lower, and then our front pivot pin or takedown pin, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so now it'll go like this. Make sure our cam lock is pulled out, and you gotta pull the charging handle out just a little bit so that right there can clear it. And then you want to get it in that hole. Make sure it's all lined up though. Here, I'll sit down so I can get this better. Okay. In that hole, right like that. Alright, and see how easily stuff goes together when you get it right. So, we got our bolt and charging handle back in. To pull them out, you just pull the charging handle out and then they'll both slide out. And you want to make sure that the bolt is in there as far as it can be. Otherwise, watch if you pull it out a little and then try to put it down. It keeps on hitting right there. So you gotta make sure it's in and then push that pin in. And then each time you take it apart, doesn't matter if you were messing with the upper or lower or both, you just want to make sure that everything still works. Safety still works. And then make sure it still locks back. And alright, so it still works. And then we get our gun oil, wherever I put it. Alright, get our gun oil. And those two little holes I mentioned earlier, right there. You just stick the nozzle in, right, in one of those and squeeze some. And then in our other one, if I can get it in that other one, squirt some more. And then do that. Just to get that oil everywhere up in there. And you can never put too much grease in here. These things love the grease because they're a gas-operated gun. So anything that'll lube it up in there, it just loves it. So that is how you take apart and clean an AR-15. Alright, so that wraps this video up. We will be doing another video sighting this in a little while. Anyway, so thanks for watching if you've made it this far. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you come around and see our other videos. And hit that like button and subscribe. And click that bell so that you get notifications whenever we upload new videos. Anyway, so without further ado, have a good day. And see ya.